Hello everyone, my name is Rosehars, but feel free to call me Rose, Rosie, or Chloe, and today I am bringing you guys another Cream and Spooky speed paint. If you guys don't know or are new here, Cream and Spooky's House of Terrors is the kids series I've been planning for like nearly 5 years now. It's about two ghost cats who meet up in the afterlife and like to kind of wreak havoc together. They get to enter all sorts of these magical worlds upon entering the afterlife, and while it all seems really cool on the surface, there's actually a lot of dark mysteries that the two must rely on each other to solve. If you guys want to watch the current trailer, I will be linking it in the description, and hopefully later this month I'll be coming out with a brand new animated sneak peek of it along with a second trailer maybe sometime in February, so I really hope you guys are hyped for that. But enough rambling, I want to make this video relatively short, so let's get to the actual topic of the video. Expanding on the previously mentioned magical worlds, I asked what you guys would like the topic of this video to be. I planned on making a poll with the most popular options, but it seems that you guys all wanted to hear more about the lore behind ghosts and their worlds in the afterlife, and so that is what I'll be talking about now. I'm going to be answering and expanding on some of your questions, so you guys can hopefully get acquainted with some of the lore, so long as there are no spoilers, of course. But before I get into any of these, I should probably explain what the Cryptic Universe actually is. Here's what I have as the official written description. The Cryptic Universe is a bizarre place where almost anything is real. Portal-forming crystals, mythical creatures, you name it. Visiting this place is like visiting the imagination of a unique creator. It is made up of several distinctive and beautiful biomes, and almost everyone is able to find the perfect place for them there. Though it is such a strange place, many ghosts find peace there and even choose to live there. It is also one of the only places where ghosts of all species can meet up and speak to each other, excluding humans. So that's it for the official description, which was fairly simplified, but I'm sure you guys are at least getting the idea that the Cryptic Universe is a very strange and magical place. You can find anything from giant animals to tiny weird creatures there, and some ghosts, such as Max and Katie, who I briefly showcased in the trailer, even were inspired to change their appearances in seemingly bizarre ways because of this wacky world. I kind of tried to showcase some of these themes in my piece, but honestly, this is nothing compared to what it's actually like. I really can't wait for you guys to see it. My personal favorite area in the Cryptic Universe probably has to be the jungle-like areas. They're just so fun and pretty. So, there's also another area in the cat afterlife, which is also known as Ghost Central. It's really not as interesting in comparison to the Cryptic Universe or anything like that. It's mainly just a place that connects ghost cats to other worlds. As for the official description, Ghost Central is a place where ghost cats go if they decide to leave the Earth upon their deaths. It's essentially a communication channel that leads to a whole set of other worlds and dimensions, all available to those who desire it. It is home to the Ghost Crystal, Sparkling Cave, and many more memorable and important landmarks for ghost cats in the afterlife. Though only ghost cats can usually go here, it is possible to smuggle in other species through the use of black magic. There is also another fairly important world in the first two seasons of the series, but I feel like talking about it might lead to some spoilers, so I'm really sorry, but I'm gonna have to leave it out for now. But there are essentially hundreds and hundreds of distinct worlds that ghosts get to travel to, so they get to have some pretty eventful lives. But anyways, this is the point of the video where I'm going to be talking about stuff based on your questions. Again, it's not really a formal Q&A session because my last speed paint was a Q&A, so I'm sort of just going to be merging a lot of your questions and like expanding on them a lot, if that makes sense. I don't know, you'll see. Anyways, let's get on with it. It seems like a lot of you guys were wondering about whether ghost cats could die again or not. I'm just gonna try and answer this relatively quickly because I feel like there's like a lot more kind of interesting things to talk about with the lore and stuff, but while ghosts have the potential to live forever, there are ways that ghost cats can die. One way they can die is simply by fading away, but this is very, very, very hard. The only way this can happen is if a ghost goes a long period of time without interacting with anyone. Essentially, if they're remembered by no one in the live world or afterlife. That's how they just fade away. They're just like, oh crap. But it's also possible that a ghost cat can be severely injured by black magic, but in some cases black magic can also kill, though it is very rare because it would need to be very, very powerful. It also seems that a lot of you guys were wondering about the Ghost Crystal, how it works, and more. Essentially, it's kind of like a powerhouse for Ghost Central and every ghost cat there is. It holds all the power and magic energy required to keep their worlds functioning and in a normal way. If the powers were to be stored elsewhere or with someone, it would likely be chaotic. Not only would it be difficult for a singular being to harness such extreme powers, it's also possible that these powers could be used for bad. For example, if someone were angry and would have possessed all of these powers, it would be possible for them to just go around wiping ghosts out of existence, which is why it's very important that it stays in a protected, kind of neutral place. It's not like the ghost crystal itself can just make the choice to be angry with others, if that makes sense. If a ghost also has all these powers and doesn't know how to use it, or they're not stored in a stable place, it could also destroy the natural order of things and just cause some really weird things to happen. Almost no physical object is powerful enough to hold such powers without being destroyed, which is why, again, the crystal is very important. Nobody knows when or how this crystal may have been created, and nobody knows if it was Sub-1 who chose to place the powers there to keep them protected, but what is known is that the ghost crystal is extremely crucial to keeping them alive. Well, as ghosts, that is. As for a ghost cat hierarchy, there really is none. I guess you could say there could be a potential hierarchy between good ghosts and cursed ghosts, but there's really not that much still. Cursed ghosts, because you guys were wondering a lot about what happens to bad cats when they die, are ghost cats that essentially knowingly did wrong during their lives, and so as punishment, they must remain chained to where they died and cannot go anywhere. They're only free to go once they feel genuine remorse for what they did. Because they don't really get to interact with other ghosts unless other ghosts find them, and because they almost always get to be regular ghosts at some point, there really is not any sort of hierarchy or conflict between them, though in some ways there definitely could be. There's also no laws or anything either. Everyone just does as they please. Of course there are some implied rules, as there are in basically every social setting, but there are hardly any punishments. Well, maybe some worlds would have rules, but not the ones in the main series as of this point for now. Others would just have some sort of vigilante justice if anything. Ghosts can choose to live in groups with rules and leaders if they choose, though that is definitely not the norm. There do end up being some things in the series related to a dictatorship, but I'm not really going to get into that because that would be a lot of spoilers for the entirety of the series. Let's just say that with a little bit of extra powers, it can lead to one seeking domination and control. You guys were also wondering about how ghosts and living cats kind of interact with the afterlife, so I just wanted to clear up a lot about that because I feel like there's definitely a lot of confusion here. While ghost cats get access to the afterlife and such so long as they're not cursed ghosts, they don't actually have to go there or stay there permanently. They're free to come and go whenever they please. While some ghosts choose to live on Earth and some may choose to live in the afterlife, this does not prevent them from interacting with each other's worlds. While there is no known way for living creatures to access the afterlife, they can interact with ghosts on Earth in some ways. Ghosts can create visual illusions that mortals can see, can interact with some real-life objects, and can even pass through mortals to send extreme chills throughout their bodies, kinda just to freak them out. Ghost cats can seriously mess with their live counterparts and even humans, which is something that a lot of ghosts who have been wronged like to do. Speaking of ghosts kind of using their powers to mess with others, they also get access to other basic powers upon death, these powers being the ability of telekinesis, the ability to perform magic and spells, and the ability to live forever. These are the specific powers that each ghost cat gets, though by combining these abilities, there's a lot more that ghosts are able to do with just a little bit of practice. Magic and spells is a little hard to explain because it's really broad, but it can be anything as simple as making a small object appear or transforming yourself into a temporary beast. The only real limitations are the complexity of what a ghost wants to do. For example, Cream uses magic to change her appearance to give herself pink markings, and she doesn't get worn out because it's a really simplistic thing to do, though when she wants to change her entire body into something that's different, it's a lot harder and it wears her out over time, so it's only temporary, whereas her markings are not. Magic is also usually very personal to ghosts in terms of what they're able to do. A lot of spells and combinations are usually crafted individually rather than something that's set in stone, though that doesn't mean that one ghost can't learn another's spells. But speaking of transformation, this kind of leads me to signature powers. Signature powers are something that only one ghost can do. Well, basically one anyways. These powers are extremely difficult to harness and are often a combination of a series of complex spells and often take years and years of practice to master. For a brief moment in the trailer, Cream transforms into a bigger, stronger version of herself, which is actually her signature power. I didn't really get to showcase her real abilities in that form, but it's a power that's so rare, it's, as I said, considered her signature power. Ghosts almost rarely share signature powers unless one ghost teaches another that specific ability. I hope that makes sense, but I'm sort of running out of time for this video because, as I said, I wanted it to be on the shorter end because my last one was 51 minutes and I'm not doing that again. But yeah, as for the entirety of the afterlife itself, nobody really knows who or what created it. Nobody really knows how the Cryptic Universe came to be, and nobody knows why it's so bizarre. There's no initial creator or ruler or anything that anybody knows of. But one thing is for sure, when one entity becomes power hungry and tries to take control, it can lead to some pretty bad things. So yeah, that's about all I have to say for this topic. Again, I'm kind of trying to keep it on the shorter end, but I really hope you guys were able to have your questions answered. If not, I might answer some of your questions in the comments, but I am busy too, so I can't guarantee that, but there's honestly a lot related to ghost lore in their worlds and everything, so it's honestly super hard to dive into it for just one video. But don't worry, hopefully more of your questions will be answered in the upcoming animated short and the second trailer. And if not, I can definitely assure you you'll learn and understand more when the series comes out. I have big plans for it. But before I end the video, I would like to announce that I'm going to be doing a little giveaway. I thought that now that I completed both of the posters, I could give them away to 3 lucky people. One winner will get the Haunted Mansion poster, another will get this poster, and someone who is especially lucky will get both. For my previous giveaways, I did Google Forms, but honestly, I realized that having to sign up for something like that is a little more time consuming and might turn people away, which is why I'm doing this giveaway on Instagram. I figure that most people have Instagram, so it won't be too inconvenient or anything. All you'll have to do to enter is comment on my giveaway post and tag someone, and I'll choose a winner in a few days. You can find my Instagram in the description. Good luck if you choose to enter. Anyways, that's all for now. Thanks for sticking with me to the end of the video. Bye guys!